Hello everyone, the Klaus here, and today guys I'm going to do the second part of my review about the Megabloks Dragon set Draigar Castle, released in 2003 as part of the Krystal Wars subsim. And well, yesterday I reviewed all the minifigures and the 3 dragons, plus some accessories like the crystals, and today well I'm going to review the castle itself. So it's, as you will see, a quite big castle, so this means I'm going to move the webcam around to show you every element of this set because it's quite big. So of course no turnaround this time, guys. It's quite hard. So well, as you can see, here is the castle finished, if I can say so. So that's maybe the only review when I start with the model completed. And if you want a comparison size, so, well, I'm going to put this tall guy right there, and as you can see, it's quite big. So well, this set can be divided in like 6 subsections. So first, this one, which is quite the entrance of the castle with some outposts. Then you got this big part, which is divided into 4 sub parts, which are this side, the entrance itself with the gate, this other side, so the this one, and then this little last tower on top of everything. And the final subsection is this little external tower, if I can call this like that, because as you can see, it's linked to the main part of the castle, but it's not really a part of the main castle. It's not only a part of the main part of the castle, yes. So that said, let's begin with the outpost. So first, something to notice, something which will be found throughout all the castle is that first, the base plate. The castle is made with like 5 of these big base plates, as you can see. Base plates, excuse me, as you can see. So 3 right there, 1 here, and 1 there. So 5 of them. And then the castle is of course mostly made with this type of walls right there, which are really easy to put together and really easy to make walls very quickly. So this was this type of part right there, and also this wood floor, if I can put it like that, which will be put throughout the model to make the ground for the different steps and stuff like that. And apart from this part, then you're gonna have some bricks and some more specific parts. But that's mostly all the parts you're gonna find in this set. And that said, well, let's move on this time to the outpost. As you can see, first, there is kind of a little gate made with these 2 big parts, which are quite nice. So made with some work shaped in an arc form right there. You can also see some writings here with some runic writing. Yes, so it's once again it's quite detailed and it's just made with 1 part. You got 2 of this part, and then you got a little outpost, well, a little tower which serves as an outpost. As you can see, it's put on a second little base plate made with some bricks right there. Then you're gonna have some walls, and of course, excuse me, you have the fourth wall does not exist, as you can see, because you can put a minifig on there, and well, that works quite nice. And then of course you got this part up there with some torch, which will also be found throughout the building. And well, that's all for the outpost. Of course, not really fully detailed, but at least it works, I think. Nice thing to have this little part on the front. And then let's move on to the main part of the castle. So like I said, divided in 4 subsections. And well, let's first talk about the sides section. So they might look really similar together, but they are not. In fact, they are not symmetrical because there is some small differences that we're gonna find later on. Because now I'm going to talk about the things that they share. So of course, the base plate right here, then some rocks, which will be useful, of course, to make the first goal, if I can say so, because here it's this ground right there is what this floor, excuse me, is what you can call the basement, kind of. And then you're gonna have the first floor. Then we're going to link some walls part right there, which are big. Then, as you can see, there's a nice parts with some statue directly molded into the wall, which looks quite great because the coloration is mostly, like you can see, dark red, gold, and of course some touches of dark gray and some other colors, and it works just fine, I think. Really gives the castle a nice aspect. And as you can see, we're gonna use also some bricks to make some pillars. So right there. Then we're gonna have the second floor, so which is mean with this big brown part that you have already seen previously. So for example, you can see we're gonna use here, there one, here, so seriously all over the place. And then you're gonna have the third floor right there, so nothing really to talk about. And then the second side, well, first as you can see on the asymmetrical aspect, you're gonna not have the same walls on this side. And then the most important thing is that, as you can see, we're gonna have a cannon right there, which was not here, of course. And then also we're gonna have a little trap right here, so of course you're supposed to push this lever and the guy will fall off. And as you can see, excuse me, because it's going to be quite hard. As you can see, you can cut off the prisoner by just opening the door, which is quite nice, and it's of course made with a dragon head right there. So that's how it works. So of course it was not here on the other side. And as you can see right there, one of the drawbacks of this set is that the inside of the castle is totally empty. As you can see, there is absolutely nothing. But we're gonna talk about that later on, because now it's time to move on to the front part of the castle. So this one with the door, of course, which can be opened. And well, it works quite fine. And once again, it's done in a simple way. So first, just notice the look of the front of this part. So some rocky parts, there's bricks, there's nice walls panels, and then there's arc part right there, which looks pretty cool. And as you can see, we're gonna have some chain right there. Yes, right there. And they are linked, in fact, to this part. And when you put off this part, of course, this means the door is going to open. And here we go. So pretty well detailed. As you can see, there is nothing really interesting in there. And if I just put my webcam to show you the sides, well, it reflects what I said earlier. There is absolutely nothing inside apart from sometimes the ground and stuff like that, and some rocks. But apart from that, nothing. And then let's talk about the final part, which is this little tower. So you can see we can access this part thanks to the little. Once again, forget the name of this thing. Ladder, yes, this ladders right there. And as you can see, well, it's quite made like the other walls, but we're gonna add some more bricks. This part right there. And also notice this dragon's head that I have not mentioned, but that you can find throughout the castle, excuse me, once again. Little flag, and I think that's quite all, because there was nothing in there apart from the bricks that hold the chains. And as you can see, there is some bricks used to link the three sections together, but seriously, that's all. And so that said, now I'm going to move on to the final part, so this external tower right there, but first I'm going to put the outpost back in place. Right there. And apart from that, well, let's move on to the final section. As you can see, the final subsection. And well, as you can see, it's linked to the castle thanks to this little bridge and this big base plate with forky parts which look like spikes. So really a nice placing right there, of course, because you can easily imagine, that two warriors are fighting each other right there. And of course, if one of them falls down, they will be well, kind of hurt badly by the spikes. So well, a nice little placing. And for the tower itself, well, there was nothing really to talk about, because once again we're going to use some work parts, then some walls. Notice also that in there is no ground, so this means apart from the works there is nothing. There even is a hole between the works, so do not lost your minifig in there. It will be not really that cool. Then we're gonna move on to this floor, and as you can see, this time we're gonna use two of this wood parts, because well, most of the time we just use one of them. Here we're gonna use two of them, and this means that this tower is a little wider broader than the other ones. But apart from that, it's the same. We're gonna use the same type of walls, we're gonna use the same type of bricks, but put in a different way. For example, here we made a pillar thanks to this wood, this walls part, and also this bricks, and also this dragon's head. Move on, and as you can see, we're gonna well, the tower is just for here now because this part is no more a part of the well. It's just like that. Excuse me. And finally, a second cannon right there, plus some ladders. And in fact, that's all. I review the Draigar Krystal, guys. So I'm not really gonna to move my webcam around because I guess you are kind of becoming seasick by now because of all the movements and stuff like that. And of course, it will not really improve anything to just put the cameras in this in some in some closed spaces and stuff like that because well, there was nothing really to show more, in fact. Because like I said, the insides are quite empty, so and of course I can't really do a turnaround of all these things. So, well, I think that will be all. And to not lose any time, I'm going to do a little sum up, and during this sum up, I'm going to add all the minifigs on this set because well, it will be quite sad, excuse me, to not just add the minifigs to this nice castle. So well. Let's sum up, and first I'm going to do just a little sum up once again about the minifigs. So remember, you got the three sides of warriors represented, so this means the Draigar, Norvagan, and Vorgan. There is in total like 20 minifigs, which is quite impressive. 3 of them got chromed weapon, which is quite nice. And in fact, the only drawback I have with this minifigs is on the Draigar's side, because, well, sometimes the hands are quite loose, and this means they lose their shield or their weapons. Well, they don't hold them pretty well, which is quite a problem. And also, there is sometimes when the head is full of black color, which was not supposed to happen because these guys are supposed to be mostly gold, and sometimes the head is full of black color and it just looks just full ugly. For example, this guy, which got you can still see the gold behind the black, but it's mostly black and it just don't look that good. Yeah, and so see, apart from that, I do not really have any problems with the minifigs. You got many of them, nice weapons, stuff like that. All of them got a weapon plus a shield. All of them got unique heads. So seriously, I have nothing more to talk about the minifigs. You also have to notice that you got like 2 horses. So if I found them, which look like that. So here's the Draigar's one. So quite cool. And there, for example, this guy just lost his weapon. Like that. So 2 horses, and then of course you got the little accessories, and then the 3 dragons. So each dragon is really full. Well, it's really full of play features with all the crystal stuff and stuff like that. It really works great. Plus each of them got a unique mold, which is really nice also. The only problem I have with the dragons is that 2 of them don't really have that tons of articulations on the limbs. It's just 1 part of rotation. Well, that's quite bad, but it's not really a big problem because of thanks to the tons of play features they got. And then let's move on to the castle now. So the castle itself. So like I said, I'm going to talk first about the complaints. The complaints I have with the castles, and there is 2 of them, is first the fact that the castle is desperately empty. There is absolutely nothing inside. Like I said, it's not like a link or an armory section or stuff like that, or a little, I don't know, but this type of stuff here, there is absolutely nothing. It's just the walls, the ground, the floors and stuff like that. Some torches right there, but it's all. There is nothing on the inside of the castle. In fact, it's all about you to play with your minifigs and to make them fight in the castle, but there is no details, so this is a little drawback for me. Excuse me, just putting some guys. So that's one of the first drawback for me. But well, you know, that was already the case with some other Megabloks set, like for example the Marauder's Cliff or the Man of War. Excuse me. It was the same thing. It was also empty, but this set is bigger than this other set. So of course here you see, well, it's really a pop out it's really a punch you in the face, if I can say so, that, well, it's empty, there is nothing, it's a big castle, but there is quite nothing in there, so you can see that more with a bigger set. And then the second problem I have with this set is the play features, because, well, I do not talk about the minifigs, just about the castles. Let's recap the play features. There is 4 of them. The 2 cannons, which are, well, admitted, not really some magnificent play features. I mean, they work, it's cool, but it's not really interesting or original. Well, it's not original. The third one is the trap, which leads the guy in the prison. Okay, quite cool. And the final one, which is only exclusive to this set, is the door which can be opened or closed. And that's all. That's all. And for me, that's quite a little problem, because this set is once again really big, and you just got like this 4 play features, which are not really that impressive, which are, well, somehow traditionals. And I really think that they could have done better while there, because if you remember, once again, if I take the example of the Man of War or the Marauder's Cliff, there were really some nice play features based around the crystals, the magnets and stuff like that. And in fact here, there is nothing of that. There is no gimmick which used magnets or lights, in fact. Well, of course you got this gimmicks with the dragons, but here I'm just talking about the castle. And I think that's quite bad, because if they just add this last play feature, little parts which with some statues and magnets and lights and stuff like that, it would have really made a difference for me. It would have really made this castle different from the other playset. And here, well, sadly, it's not the case. It falls short behind. And well, that's the 2 complaints I have with this set. And apart from that, well, the good point, of course, is that this castle is really big. It's really big, so excuse me, I'm just going to add some more things. So yes, it's quite. I'm going to add the dragons. So yeah, the size of it is really big. So of course, for kids, it's really great, because they got some really nice thing. Imagine for me, it's really already big. So imagine in kids' eyes, it's really a monstrous thing from from the medieval times, which comes in their face, and they're really it's seriously really nice. It's really cool. And what I said, and well, the overall design also is pretty good. The overall design is nice. Like I said, it's quite simple that this, well, I mean, first you got the outpost, which is really a nice addition. You also got the external tower, which really adds to the overall castle, and then you got the main part, which could have been a set of its own, by the way. And even there, they decided to make 2 different sides, with one with a trap and one with no traps. So they made the things different, and so the construction is cool. Even if it's mostly big blocky parts, at least it's nice, and it will take you some time. For example, I think I built this thing in like 1 hour or 2, maybe, if I also count the dragons and the minifigs. And then so that's nice. So the construction is cool. The playset is big and also well designed in terms of of the overall building, and also in terms of color scheme. Seriously, all these dark colors like the dark red, gold, dark grey, and all these colors really mix well together and really give you a nice feeling about this castle. I mean, it's the Draigar castle, and it's in your face. It's in your face, and that's quite cool. So I'm going to do a last. I'm going just to move my webcam around for some to show you the things with everything in there. And that will be all, guys. So for me, the only problems of this set is that the insides are empty, nothing apart the base plates and the bricks and the stuff like that, so there is no details. It's a little it wasn't as much of a problem on smaller set, but here it really comes a little problem for me. And then also the play feature is really like a play feature, the play feature, with a major T play feature with some light and crystal involved in there and stuff like that. And well, sadly, it's not. There is just like 4 play features, which are quite classic for this set. But for the rest, big play set, really impressive in terms of size, nice, good-looking set. Once again, tons of minifigs, 3 dragons, each different. Well, so once again, as a play set, it's really a great set. So I can really advise you to find this one on eBay. And for those, of course, who are more fans of detailed Krystal, well, they might pass on this set, even if even if the overall design is really cool. Well, it's like I said, quite empty. So that's all, guys. If you have any questions or comments about this set, well, feel free to ask them. I will happily answer them on the comment section of this video. And that's it. Hope you enjoy this review. Hope you enjoy this set. And well, see you later for another video review. And that's all. So see you later, guys.